it's me. It's it's the day after my my birthday, which was not such a good birthday yesterday. It's Tuesday, March the 28th, 2017. We are right now about, well, let's see, just about 3 days until March the 31st, and Saturday is April the 1st. So, anyway, I got some important tidbits that I need to inform to the YouTube public out there. That's that's come up for the month of April and for the month of May. The month of April, uh, two two important things happened in World War II, and one in history in general. Uh, History in general, number one. On April the 14th, 1912, the British ocean liner RMS Titanic struck an iceberg while on its way into New York City. There were about 2,000 passengers on board, and only 705 survived. And it's going to be 101 years come up on April the 14th. And on April the 18th, 1942, Brigadier General James H. Doolittle and a daring corps of airmen were set to bomb Tokyo on one historic mission. From the aircraft carrier USS Hornet, on April the 18th, 1942, the Hornet had turned into the wind and launched the B-25 Mitchells into the air. Tokyo, Yokohama, and several military targets were bombed. And when Jimmy Doolittle was asked, "Where did you land?" and he said, "Shangri-La." And that is what President Franklin Delano Roosevelt told him to say. The next one that's come up for the month of April, same day, April the 18th, 1943. An executive order from President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was sent to Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, and the target was the head of the Japanese Imperial Navy, Admiral Isaguro Yamamoto, the mastermind behind the attack on Pearl Harbor. And Yamamoto once said that "I have awoken a sleeping giant" prior to after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, just only 12 months earlier. And it was on a mission going from one base in the Solomons from New Britain to Rabaul. And Yamamoto's G4M Bay was jumped by a P-38 Lightning, while two G4M Bays were shot down, including several Mitsubishi A6M Zeros were shot down. And the next piece of history, May 4th, 1942, the Battle for the Coral Sea. The Japanese were planning on launching a springboard offensive on Port Moresby, and their target was Perth in Australia. And two carriers, the USS Yorktown and the USS Lexington, had set sail from Pearl Harbor to take on the Japanese. The Japanese lost one aircraft carrier, and they had the air carrier that was damaged in one air raid, and the radio that was crackling that day scratched one flat top. And the U.S. Navy would lose the aircraft carrier USS Lexington after an undetected fuel line had leaked and caused a catastrophic explosion. And among the Lexington, the USS Sims, a destroyer, and the fleet oiler USS Neshaho were sunk during the Battle of Coral Sea. USS Yorktown was damaged, but went back to Pearl Harbor and went under extensive repairs. And on May 8th, another piece of history has come up was the tragedy at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. The German airship Hindenburg was about to land at Lakehurst when suddenly there was a fire in the tail of the airship, and it caused it to erupt. And the famous words by Herb Morrison, "Oh, the humanity." If you've seen that newsreel footage that Herb Morrison and his cameraman had shot that day, back in 1937, and the last piece would be the Battle of Midway, June the 4th to June the 6th, 1942. 4 aircraft carriers, the USS Yorktown, Hornet, 3, USS Yorktown, Hornet, and Enterprise, and the Japanese had 6 air carriers, the Akagi, Kaga, Hiryu, and Soryu. And the Japanese were to launch 2 offensives, one on the Illusions and one on Midway Island. The attack on Midway was not a total success, as reported by the Japanese. They didn't even take out the airfield. They didn't take out none of the storage tanks that was carrying all that precious aviation fuel. And when Nagumo was asked, "Sir, should we load our planes with bombs or torpedoes if our scout plane spots the American task force?" And Nagumo had waited. And once the torpedoes were placed on board, contact bombs as well. But a flight of Douglas SBDs from the carriers Yorktown, Hornet, and Enterprise found at least 3 of the carriers and sent them to a watery grave. And when the Hiryu, when their commanding officer had saw that, he had told them to launch a scout aircraft to find where the American task force was. This, according to the 1976 movie Midway, starring Charlton Heston, Henry Fonda, and Robert Wagner, and Robert Mitchum. And the Japanese did find the American task force. The USS Yorktown was severely damaged, and the orders were to... Alright guys, this video is going to be ending. Rate, share, like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.